was walking the same route to and from the city every day. Didn't live far away, about 30 years old. So I drove for a few minutes in a quiet suburb. The road I walked at night was always very quiet. This made me relax. Compared with the traffic during the day, I was driving on this road. Everything was the same as usual. It was 10 o'clock in the evening. I was listening to the music of the radio. I was very happy that I was almost home. At this time, there was still a 10-minute drive away from the woods. Just before the suburb began, a flash of light came out of the road. At first, there was nothing, but when it got closer, it seemed to be really bright. It was like I could barely see. I had to keep an eye on the road to make sure I stayed on my own lane. But just when I thought they were going to pass me, I suddenly noticed that their tires were on my lane. They took the wrong road and almost hit me in the face. My instinct reacted. I turned right and rushed out of the road. I fell into a ditch by the woods. It took me a few seconds to come back to my senses, but I didn't seem to be seriously injured. I took off my seatbelt and jumped out of the car. It must have been completely destroyed. The whole head of the car was almost torn off. To be honest, it looked like I was going to die in there. Then I remembered what had happened. I got angry right away. I crawled out of the ditch and looked in that direction. I thought I would see their lights disappearing from afar. But what surprised me was that they stopped not far away. Before I got close to them, I quickly looked around and realized how secluded we were. So before I faced them, I ran back to my car and picked up my phone and called the police. I didn't know who was in the car. I didn't know if they were drunk or angry. So I thought I'd better be careful. The police said they would be here in 5 minutes. So I hung up the phone and started walking into the ditch. But I was scared by a man standing on the top of the ditch. He didn't ask me if I was okay. He didn't say anything. Did you make me crash? Are you drunk? You might kill me. I tried to control my anger, until the police arrived. He still didn't speak. But the lights on the road suddenly became brighter. I shot at the place where he was standing. I was still in the ditch, but I could see that the same car was driven by another person. They kept going back to the ditch. Then the driver's door opened and another person walked out. Two people started talking to each other in different languages. I think it was Russian or German. I'm not good at languages, but when they were talking, it sounded very aggressive. One person rushed to the back of the car and opened the trunk. But he didn't take anything but turned around to face me. The two of them immediately ran towards me and rushed into the ditch. It took me less than a second to put these pieces together. I turned around and rushed into the woods. The people around my car kept chasing me. They were all tall and looked fatter. So after a minute of rushing, I threw them away. Now I'm in the middle of the woods and I can't see where I'm going at all. I don't even know which direction is which. There was no one around. I was wandering aimlessly in the woods. I didn't want to get lost when those people were still around. So the police couldn't help me. Only a few minutes later, I heard the sound of police sirens in the distance on the left. I followed the sound all the way to the road. There I could see a police car parked at the top of the ditch. Two police officers were checking my car. I couldn't find any traces of those people anywhere. I explained what happened. They wrote a report. But there was very little follow-up investigation because they only described what happened. I didn't throw anything in the car. Although it was beautiful, they openly said they would throw me into the trunk. But it is not clear whether this was before the crash or after the crash. Maybe they made a mistake and tried to cover it up. Or everything is as it was.